It's spoiler season, it's Omens of the Third Age. My spoiler card has officially been revealed, and so now I can talk about it, and talk about it we shall, along with all of the other spoiler cards that have been released until the moment that this video goes live. Well, technically until the moment I finish recording, because I have a bad habit of starting this right before like 3 spoilers come out. So, I mean, if that happens, it just happens. But we're going to talk about all the cards that have been spoiled thus far. I have seen some of these and have not seen others of them. And so everything I share with you on this video, as always, is customary. All of my takes will be the correct takes. We don't make mistakes on this YouTube channel when evaluating cards in a vacuum before the entire set is released. We just don't. We don't call them mistakes. We call them happy accidents. So with that being said, of course, we've got Ziggy Starlight, the Lightning Illusionist hero. We've got young Ziggy here and Aphrodisius, probably Aphrodisius, honestly. It's probably how it's pronounced. Nevertheless, keep these all in mind, both the hero effect, allowing you to destroy a lightning flow, banish a lightning or a permanent on the board with no hollow counters, and then bounce it back in, flash it back in, returning it with a hollow counter. And then, of course, Aphrodisius, allowing you to deal 2 arcane damage for the cost of 1, but you can only activate it if a hollow counter has entered the arena, so on and so forth. Okay. Let's go ahead and run it down with Flicker Reality. Costs you nothing. It's a majestic. It's crazy. It's a Lightning Illusionist instant, so you can play it at instant speed. Of course, it is itself an aura, and when it leaves the arena, you can banish another lightning or a permanent you control with no hollow counters. Then return it to the arena with a hollow counter. So, and it also has Ward 1. So this has a couple of different ways that you can approach it. You can bounce it off of Ziggy's effect. As you can see here, you can bounce it, and in bouncing it, you can bounce a second thing. So if there are cards that care about you bouncing and the amount of times you've bounced, you know, within a turn, I guess we can call it flickering. I don't know what you want. Flicker Reality. We'll call it flickering. Depending on cards, and if they care about you flickering multiple times a turn, this would be great. But even on the face of it, if you don't care about like flickering this one with Ziggy's effect, it just protects you for 1 life. It pitches for blue, and then it triggers the hollow counter generation on something else. I think this card's super good and a staple so far based on what we know. And, you know, based on what we know, I think you're going to be picking this up and playing it in Ziggy Starlight as a 3-of, because, of course, it's a majestic, feels like a signpost type card. Super solid. Blink of an eye. It was indeed the girl the entire time. They just used Ziggy to, you know, in the trailer to kind of pad the old, like, what do they call that? The storytelling. Anyway, Blink of an Eye costs 2. This is not a cycle. It's only in red, and do keep that in mind because another card we're going to talk about later is the same way. It's attacks for 7. It fragments, or I should say it blocks for 3. It's an attack. It has Fragment, which whenever a card with 2 or more defense defends this gets -2, so it'll drop to a 5. And whenever this fragments, you can banish a lightning or a permanent with no hollow counters and flicker it. So return it to the arena with a hollow counter. So allowing you to flicker on attack as well, which is pretty cool. Seems super solid. And it being a 2 for 7 that encourages engagement seems really, really good. This card feels like a majestic. It's probably why it's not a cycle itself. It's just a rare, but it can, of course, be played in Silver Age. So this is definitely going to see play in Silver Age. There's another card that we're going to talk about later that follows the same pattern. It seems very powerful, almost seems like a majestic, but clearly this has been brought down to the rare slot so that it can be played and give a power pump to, in this case, Ziggy Starlight, and later into Wizards. All right, Cosmic Duality costs 2, attacks for 7, has Fragment. This one is a cycle. This one's a common. Instant pay 1, discard this, so it has multiple modes that it can be used. And if you do, you deal 1 arcane damage to target hero, and you create a lightning flow. This feels like a major linchpin piece, because remember, all of these heroes care about lightning flows. Now, how much they care, that's the real question, because I feel like you're going to be able to play sort of an on-again, off-again strategy with all of these heroes, you may not actually end up caring too terribly much about a lightning flow every turn or activating really a lightning flow on every turn. So having these in the back pocket as sort of just an instant pay 1, discard, create a lightning flow, and ping for 1 feels like a great card that's gonna kind of check the box, right? You had Zen, I call them Zen tokens, but they're not. They're all chi. You had all the chi cards, right? Back in the day when we had Part the Mistveil. This feels kind of like the chi cards did, in that you were going on this quest to actually do the thing, create the flow token. I guess it feels kind of like Pirates. You're going on the quest to create gold. In this case, your quest is to get that lightning flow, but you don't maybe need it as much. The red feels good. The blue feels good. Yeah, I would think the blue feels good. The yellow has no bearing outside of the fact that it is a 6-power popper. It does indeed have the capacity to be a popper. It's also technically a 2 for 4, so it is still a break point, but I don't think you care that much about this card being a break point. You're probably playing all of them for the discard effect. Pulsing Cardia, fantastic name. All the art so far has been just peak, absolute top notch. This one is a 0 for 5, which really becomes a 0 for 3 if it, if it engages. But check this out. This says whenever it fragments, gain 1. This does have fragments, so if they block with a card that has 2 or more defense, it'll be a 0 for 3 that recoups you a resource that you can then pour into, instant shenanigans, or a Frodius if you've gotten the hollow counter thing online. This one doesn't feel as strong, but as a sort of a 4 value type card and a 3 block card, I could see it being played mainly in like the limited format, and maybe you splash this in depending on how the deck fits and functions. Because if you want to look, we have a lot of cards still to actually hack our way through, right? How it fits and functions in Sage is what I'm trying to get at. This could be a player in Sage, though it does feel a little bit underwhelming. I'm going to be playing this video, by the way, fast and loose and drinking water, because I spent a lot of time talking and recording the video and audio, specifically the audio of the spoiler video on my card, which we are going to talk about later. Oric Shards. Costs 1. Whenever this enters the arena, up to 1 target attack with fragment gets +1. So it acts as even though it's an instant aura, it acts as a +1 pump. So it's a 1 cost 1 pump. But if this has a hollow counter, instead it gets +4. The attack gets +4. This also has ward. So it's like doing double duty. This encourages you to get it on the board, get the +1 value, and then it encourages you to flicker it so that you can get the +4 value on the face of it. And if it sticks around and allows you to kind of soak up a life, this can be like a 1 for 5. I guess the interesting thing about evaluating these cards on a number basis is that they all represent sort of delayed value. So originally, if this just goes in a 1 for 1 pump and then your opponent removes it because you can't fully block out their attack, this card sucks, right? Because it's literally a 1 cost 1 value card. But if you do have the capacity to flicker this and get the hollow counter, this is going way above. So this feels like it could be quite good. And if we're looking at things that we want to actively flicker, this feels quite solid in red and perhaps in blue as well. The yellow is technically a 1 for 4. Maybe the yellow's playable. I don't know. Yellow's generally not that playable, but it is what it is. Then we have Circular Flow Tide. This one costs 1. It's an instant aura as well. When it leaves the arena, create a lightning flow token. So this is a lightning flow token on a stick, and then you can bring it back and it's ward 2. So this is, so far, the kit for Ziggy Starlight is looking very illusionist in that we have ward auras that protect ourselves. Notice these don't block, so keep that in mind. But we also have this new kind of slant where we're a little bit more aggressive with some of these big attacks that do encourage your opponent to block. And then we can come over the top with like Oric Shards, or we can pop Lightning Flow Token and cycle to get even bigger like highs. So far, so pretty cool. Now, we don't know a lot about Ziggy because Ziggy's card pool, I think, is now going to be spoiled. It's been like a Wizard Day so far. And before that, it was sort of Aurora Day. So let's talk about Aurora. Aurora comes back, returns better than ever, question mark? Probably not, actually. I don't think you could be better than that other Aurora version. This one, 40 health, 4 intellect, the 2-cost instant tap ability, destroy a lightning flow, and then create an embodiment of lightning token. So much harder to actually jump through the hoops. To get that embodiment of lightning token, you have to pay, tap, and destroy a lightning flow. Scorpio, the weapon is a 1-cost weapon that taps to attack. You don't have to pay for it, but you can only activate this if you control a lightning attack. So I would believe that you can only activate this if your combat chain has stayed open, obviously. And then when it hits a hero, deal an arcane damage ping to him. This also doesn't have go again, so keep that in mind. I think this is a fine weapon and clearly a sort of a chain ender. Tempestuous Kiss. What a great word. Tempestuous. That is a word you would use in a pirate set. Let's get more pirate sets. But this one is a Majestic. It is a 2-cost, 3-block, 5-power attack that says Quick Strike, which is the sort of the Runeblade keyword that we have in this set. If it is go again, if this card, this attack specifically has go again, it gets +1. So it goes up to a 6, a 2 for 6. When this attacks a hero, deal 1 damage to them. Do 1 arcane, damage to them. And the first time this deals damage to a hero, they discard a card. That is stupid and disgusting and awesome if you're a Runeblade player, specifically, of course, Aurora or Briar. Yeah, that feels really good, but of course you are priced in, for the arcane specifically, you're priced into giving this go again. And how do you go about giving things go again? Oh, that's right, you can pay for it. So this is again, a Majestic that is a signpost card for what the deck wants to do. It wants to give cards, it specifically attacks go again. It wants to reap the value, the rewards for doing so. And in this case, this is quite powerful. I mean, if you compare this and the hoop that you jump through successfully to CNC hitting steals the Arsenal card. This dealing damage with the arcane ping discards a card. So there is a world where this essentially acts like a CNC with go again, with extra steps, of course. It's the CNC at home, maybe. Seems very good. Dashing Flashfoot is the second of the rares that are only rares and not like, or sorry, the rares that are no cycle and only 1 color. Dashing Flashfoot costs 1, attacks for 3, comes in yellow only, blocks for 3. Says Quick Strike. If it has go again, it gets +1, so it becomes a 1 for 4. And when this attacks a hero, deal 1 arcane damage to them. So it is a 1 for 5 across 2 sources, the attack and the arcane ping first. And the first time this deals damage to a hero, create an embodiment of lightning token. So in a world where we pitch a blue, we can go Dashing Flashfoot if we've already created an embodiment of lightning token. We make a new one, and then Tempestuous Kiss, and that Quick Strike will gain the effect, and you can do a whole bunch of damage off of a blue. That represents what? That represents 4 plus 1 is 5 plus 5 plus 6 plus 7. Oh my gosh, that's just numbers, bro. That's good. Those cards are very good. And again, we have this example of them taking what is a Majestic level, power level type card and lowering it to rare. Maybe we see that going forward as well, because they're clearly thinking with Sage in mind. And it's also nice to see that at least this set as well is carrying on the tradition, or I guess the beginning the tradition of pushing some of these more powerful cards into the rare slot, which means that you can feel confident that Sage is going to be around for longer. Mercurial Skies. Yes, that's right. It's Mercurial. Lots of Mercury in the skies, which is dangerous to humans, but maybe not to Raytheons? Raytheon? I don't know. 0 cost, Lightning Runeblade action, blocks for 2. The next Runeblade or Lightning attack action card you play this turn gets go again. And the first time this deals damage to a hero, you may destroy a lightning flow you control, and if you do, deal 3 arcane damage to them. So it's kind of reminiscent of Burn Up Shock in that respect. It's also like Mauve Skies, which is clearly the, like the connection point. It's Mauvrian Skies It does 3 damage because, you know, this deals arcane damage, but, you know, Tome of Skies created 3 rune chants. So there's like, the connection is there clearly, but it almost feels more like a burn up shock because it's 3 arcane damage in 1 packet. You have to jump through more hoops though. But at the same time, like, this feels really good. And the way Mauve Skies functioned for like Viscera, I feel like there's going to be a similarity for this card. You're probably going to run like, if you're caring about this effect and the go again on a stick effect here, if you care about that, then this is like a 9 of type of card, right? Just like Mauve Skies was. But of course, Mauve Skies was popular for exactly Viscera and really kind of only sees, you know, incidental play in some of the other rune blades. It wasn't like the staple of all staples in the class. All right, Volt-bound Duality. 0 cost, 4 power, breakpoint attack with 3 block, instant discard. If you pay 1, discard this card, deal 1 arcane damage to target hero, create a lightning flow. You remember what I said about this card? Yeah, it's this card as well. There's a whole suite of them. Lightning flow generation off of the discard, and you get the 1 ping back for it. So this feels also pretty strong as well. It could be that this card is not as necessary for Aurora because Aurora also has the capacity to, you know, just get go again off of her effect. And lightning flows, we haven't seen a ton of use for them yet because, of course, we're still early right now in the process of spoiler season. So as we see more cards that encourage you, and I think particularly in the limited format, more cards that encourage you to create the lightning flow, we might see more use cases for Aurora to actually care about them. But as it stands, it feels like Ziggy cares about the lightning flow more because of the onboard flicker effect. And so many of these cards, I think, are going to be synergistic in nature with the flicker effect. Whereas it really just kind of strikes me as lightning flow, embodiment, destroy. Like there's also go again built on, you know, Mercurial Skies, for example. So like, she might not need to lean heavily into creating the embodiment of lightning because we have cards already that kind of do the same thing. We'll see. But I still think, you know, you're going to need that because that's what the set is built around. The question just becomes, how much are you going to need it? And then, of course, finally, we've got big old bro Assilio. Look at him go. I tell you what, I was not really interested in this hero until I saw the headpiece and my spoiler card working beautifully in concert. That coupled with the new rare that was spoiled by Flesh and Bad. Oh man. Now I'm kind of like on the path because I'm a fan of Assilio, but he didn't pan out the way I was kind of hoping he would originally, and now I think he might be a little bit more what I expected and what I'm looking forward to, because you pay 1, you tap him, you destroy the lightning flow, you discard a card and create a ponder token. I guess, so this is the interesting thing too. If you don't have a card to discard, you still create the ponder as well. So if you have the resources up and floating, you just tap him and destroy the flow, you'll have a ponder token to reload the arsenal, which is super cool, right? And if you have discarded a card and it's an instant that you discarded, you can play it. So you're not even losing the card in that respect. You're literally just creating a ponder token by paying 1 and tapping and destroying the flow. New Volzar. Who dis? Anyway, new Volzar is lightning wizard weapon, staff 2-handed, instant, tap it, and amp 1. Activate this only if an instant's been put in the graveyard this turn. So keep that in mind. You are indeed looking to put an instant so that you can get the 1 amp, but it is guaranteed 1. It's not the play a bunch of lightning cards and amp like 12. Sadly, we've probably reached the end of the line for that card, which really bums me out because I actually loved that staff more than like the original Assilio hero effect. Kind of bums me out, but hey, I guess it is what it is. Echo Flash is a majestic that cost 1. It's a lightning wizard instant, and it says deal 1 arcane damage to target hero, spoiled by Majinbe. When this is put into your graveyard from anywhere, your hero deals 1 arcane damage to target hero. So you can trigger this like multiple ways, which is really cool. If you just play this as an instant, paying 1, you'll deal 1 arcane, and then you'll deal a 2nd point of arcane when it hits the graveyard. If you banish this off of Assilio, discard it off of Assilio, you'll deal 1 arcane for discarding. Then you can play it, paying 1 to deal 1 arcane to target hero. Then you can deal 1 arcane when it goes back to the graveyard. And then you can go one step further and you can Volzar it, because you've put an instant into your graveyard when you use Assilio's effect. So this is a 1 for 4, like when you kind of count it all out. I guess technically it's a 2 for 4 because you are using Assilio's effect. But the fact that it's across multiple, like, I don't even want to call it chain links, but I guess chain links. The fact that it acts that way means that you have a lot of flexibility to kind of like suss out the amount of arcane barrier that your opponent wants to pitch into, which I think is really cool. This is a cool card. Other cool card includes Arc Ramp. Arc Ramp costs you nothing. It blocks for 2. It is an action speed action. It amps for 3. And then the turn is over. No action point, no go again, unless you destroy a lightning flow. And if you do, then this gets go again. So you pop a flow, you play this for nothing. I guess technically you play this, then you pop a flow. And then this will gain go again, and then you can continue your turn and actually amp. So like, if you think about like Exploding Aether, which came out all the way back in Rosetta, that was a card that you would play for like 2, and then it would give you the +3. It had the go again built on. Then you were able to kind of go from there. This, you just have to have made a flow token at some point. If you have the lightning flow token made, you just destroy it and you're off to the races. Far better, far more potent. I am a real big fan of this card. I think this card is actually going to see play. Maybe not like the craziest linchpin card, but definitely I think it's going to see play. By the way, I forgot to say, I think this Echo Flash is also like kind of a windmill slam. It feels like not Lesson in Lava, because that was obviously a tutor, but for Kano, he had all of these like bread and butter pieces. It feels like Sonic Boom. Okay, that's what it kind of feels like. Sonic Boom was a combo piece, but this feels like Sonic Boom. It was like, why would I not include that card, right? I think Arc Ramp is going to be played in red and blue. Core Reaction. This card seems really good as well. It is an instant aura, and it says at the beginning of your action phase, destroy this and deal 4 arcane damage to any target. It costs you 2, so it is expensive, but off of a singular blue, and I think this is important to evaluate cards. What can you do with a card off of a blue? It costs 2 to play this. You establish it on your opponent's turn, but you can also Assilio, instant, pay 1, destroy the flow, tap Assilio, discard this, with the 2 floating, play it, and then also have a ponder token. So you have off of a blue and this card, you have a 2-card play that is going to deal 4 damage and net you a card in the arsenal at the end of your turn. Feels quite solid overall. So looking at Assilio, he feels far more leaning towards the entire make a flow token and use it like every chance you can get. Like, it's feeling like he wants to do that. And so to do that, you have Nebula Duality, which costs nothing. It's 0. It blocks for 3. It's an action. It says deal 3 arcane damage to any target. This is Zap. It's Zap. But also, you can pay 1 at instant speed and discard this, deal an arcane damage, point to target hero, and then create a lightning flow. So this is like a 10 of. If you could include 11 of these cards, you would do it. This is going to be played across the board. Honestly, though, you may just do like 8. I don't know. Sometimes you gotta get cute with the numbers and cut a yellow, but like you want 9 of these, and you want to trigger the effect so that you can like destroy the flow, discard the instants that don't block but also give you value, and like do these types of plays, right? Like, it feels like that is a solid choice. Cosmic Suture is a sort of a defensive card. It is a Lightning Wizard instant, costs 2. Prevent the next 4 damage that would be dealt to you this turn. So again, off of a blue, you can do this and create a ponder. Has a new keyword, says Starfall. If an instant card has been put into your graveyard this turn, deal 1 arcane damage to target hero. Spoiler alert, if you use Assilio's effect, this will ping for 1 by itself because you've discarded itself. So that seems pretty solid. I feel like the reds would be run. The rest of this is more like draft and sealed play. Hey, they went back. They printed a tome. I saw this and I chuckled. When I was asked if I wanted to do spoiler season, I was like, of course, it is always an honor. They sent over Tome of Quandaries and I just chuckled. Tomes, y'all remember books? Y'all remember when books were a thing? Tome of Quandaries is funny because all of the books that were so egregious drew you 2 cards. It's like, you should not be able to play a card that draws you 2 cards. And here we have an instant that pitches blue. It blocks for nothing. It's a majestic, of course. And it blocks for 2. I said it blocks for nothing, but it blocks for 2. It costs you nothing to play. And it draws you 2 cards, except the fact that those 2 cards come at the end of the turn before you arsenal. So there is that caveat. You're drawing 2 cards, but then you have this quandary. Which of these cards goes into the arsenal and which stays in my hand? That's, I think, such a little clever. It's such a clever thing. And I looked at this and I was like, okay, this card is so funny, but it also freaking sucks because no one wants 2 ponders. But at the same time, I was wrong. We were all deceived, for another card was made that made it far more powerful. The third eye of the Sphinx is necessary to understand why this card even exists. It is a illusionist / wizard head equipment. So you can play it in illusionist, which is great because if you have ponders in illusionist, I could see that happening. You draw a card. I would imagine we would see that pop up like the day you're watching this video, because I think they're going to be showing off some Ziggy Starlight stuff. But in addition to being able to destroy a ponder you control, it gets you to draw a card. So you tap, pay 1, destroy a ponder, draw a card. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And we'll talk about why again when we go back to my spoiler card. It also blocks 1, and it also has Spell Void 1. So understanding that you can pay 1, tap the third eye of the Sphinx, destroy a ponder, and then draw a card. Tome of Quandaries makes you 2 ponder tokens at instant speed. One of those ponder tokens can become a new card in your hand at the expense of whatever you pay. So if you play this card and then you pitch a blue, float 2 resources because you activate third eye of the Sphinx, you end up still with a ponder token that is going to trigger and give you a card. You also end up with a new card in your hand. And that card, of course, could be something that you could Assilio off of, right? So like you could, if it's a 1 cost, like Echo Flash. If you draw into Echo Flash, you get another ponder off Assilio. You have 2 ponders, and you got that card. You have the ability to then play Echo Flash as well, and you have a new card in your hand thanks to the third eye of the Sphinx. So, like, there's some shenanigans that are going to happen with Tome of Quandaries, I feel. But even at its base, it blocks 2. Or it gives you the option to put like the best of 2 cards into your arsenal for the next turn. So like, I feel like this card is far better than, than at first blush, thanks to the third eye of the Sphinx. So that was my spoiler card. But this one, oh man, turn to Mindfire. Oh, Blaze is liking this one. This costs 2. It's a wizard action. It only comes in rare and only in red. It blocks 2 instead of 3. That's how you know it's good. Anything that is a wizard card that blocks 2 instead of 3 at action speed is either really good or was poorly designed. That's like your only 2 options. So it costs 2, and it's Voltic Bolt. It deals 5 arcane damage to any target, but if it deals any damage whatsoever, you can tap your hero and create a ponder token. So if you go like, I'm just going to use Crucible because I'm thinking about Blaze. If you go Crucible into turn to Mindfire for 6, they ping for 1. You've recouped essentially the card you've played. This is a virtual 1 card 6 if you tap your hero and create that ponder token. And in the card, of course, you draw as a card you want to arsenal. So like, that is so good. This card is so good. 11 out of 10. This might be the best wizard card we've gotten in recent memory. Like, that is so good. That's so freaking good. Okay, let's blast through the rest of this because I know I've kept you waiting. At this point, the video is, 30 minutes long? You're fine. You walk it off. Walk it off. Astral Strike costs 1. Lightning action attack. Attacks for 5. Blocks for 3. It's E-Strike, except it's A-Strike. Do we want to call that A-Strike? Yeah, we'll just call it A-Strike. When it attacks, if you destroy a lightning flow, choose 1. Draw a card, +2, or go again. So yeah, it's A-Strike. You just have to destroy the flow. I think this is a great card. I really like it. The fact that it doesn't cost anything. I mean, it does cost something. The fact that it doesn't cost you an entire card bottoming, you just have to pitch for it instead, is actually kind of cool. I think that's a good take on the strike line, if you will call it that. E strike, C strike, A strike. I like this card. I think this is going to be played by all of the heroes that can access it. At Majestic, it will be quite solid because it's like literally just like a 2-card 7 or a technically like a blue float 2 5 go again. Seems really good. Yeah. And I'll even go a little step further. In like Aurora, who would really probably care about this card the most, the fact that you can just give it go again off of like a embodiment of lightning token means you can draw a card or go like 7 go again already. Like there's like a lot of shenanigans to be done with that card for her. A flow state embodiment costs you nothing. Attacks for 4. It's a 0 for 4. So many cards in so many sets have been 0 for 4 block 3s lately, like just like these little cards here and there. But this one's interesting because whenever you play an instant card, this chain link, you create an embodiment of lightning or a lightning flow token. You get to pick. This one feels quite solid. Also, if Irathiel and Wraith are lakes of aether, the Nebulous is a churning river between. That's some cool lore right there. By the way, if you didn't see, on one of the spoiler cards, they had a lore blurb next to it, and Ziggy Starlight straight up confirms that the ancients took and destroyed. They tore the realm, if you want to call it that, reality, into 3 parts. And those 3 parts are now Wraith, Irathiel, and the Nebulous Rift in between. So that's some lore right there. There you go. Static Shelter seems also very solid. All these Majestics, of course, seem super playable. 0 cost, 3 block defense reaction. When this defends, you can pay 1 and create a lightning flow token. So this is going to be pretty well played, I would imagine. The fact that it is a 0 cost defense reaction, unfortunately, it only blocks for 3, but you can pay into creating a lightning flow token. I do think that there are going to be heroes that, out of the 3, I think like Assilio feels like he really wants lightning flow tokens a lot. Ziggy also feels like lightning flow quite important. And then Aurora, I'm still on the fence about because, of course, creating an embodiment of lightning token is good. But I also just know Runeblades have a bunch of like baked in go again on a bunch of their crap, which sucks, but it is what it is. Beckoning Brilliance. This one has been played against me in some very early testing. When this attacks, the next instant card you play this chain link costs 1 less to play. It's a 0 for 4. Oh, scratch that. No, it's this next one. This one has been played against me. Beckoning Brilliance. This one seems okay. It is at rare and it is only in the red. And it is a 0 for 4 that always hits the right metrics, if you will. And the fact that it could encourage you to play like some interesting lines in Assilio, or technically you could also do some 1-cost shenanigans in Ziggy, means that this would probably see some solid play. Like a 4 out of 5, like that, like 8 out of 10 type card. Flowing Storm Strike has already been experimented with. This is one that's really interesting as well. It's another 0 for 4. But it allows you to, on hit, create a lightning flow token, and then twice per turn instant, pay 1, gets +1. This one, I think, is like super solid. Encourages you to play aggressively, but also encourages your opponent to decide whether or not they think you can use the lightning flow, and if a lightning flow is worth like 2 cards, or a card plus a piece of armor. So I think this card's fantastic. This is one that you want to windmill slam into a deck. Meteoric Rise, 1 cost 5. When this hits, create a lightning flow token. I think you're probably going to see this played early on. This feels like a card that will get cut eventually in favor of something like Voltic Impact, which is a 2 cost 6, or Guaranteed Flowing Storm Strike, which is that 0 cost, 0 for 4. I feel like Meteoric Rise probably fits into, I don't know. It's interesting because if you pitch a blue, this one's probably the best of the 2. So maybe this one doesn't get cut, and maybe it's just Voltic Impact that is like the less played one. I don't know. Meteoric Rise on floating 2 resources after pitching a blue does feel pretty good. Maybe this one is like worth just windmill slamming as well. Rift Breaker. That's the one. Look, it says it right there. To vanquish the old ones, the ancients had to sunder the world in twain. It's a 2 for 6. When it hits a hero, destroy a lightning flow they control. This is a staple in like limited. This feels like a super limited card. You could see it played if all of these heroes are super powerful. Like this may spike in popularity as a tech card, but outside of that, I think it's literally just sort of draft and sealed play, which is fine. You don't need every card to be constructed level. All right, now we get down into the generics and some of the expansion slot cards. So starting with the Boots of Omnis Ward. If you've been dealt arcane damage this turn, it gets +1 defense. And it has Temper Block 1, so it becomes a Temper Block 2 if you've been dealt that arcane damage this turn. Instant, tap your hero, destroy this, prevent the next 1 damage that would be dealt to you this turn. So it has the capacity to stop arcane damage. It has the capacity to stop pure damage. Has the capacity to stop an on hit. You just have to give it up after you've blocked, which is pretty cool. I think it's fine. It doesn't feel super powerful at the generic slot, but I don't think we need a ton of super powerful generics. Like, I feel like we have a great baseline of powerful generics already, so these just feel like pretty good. It feels like, you know how what's the Arcanite Skullcap? You know how that card feels right now? Like, you could play it. You don't have to. There's a lot of good options out there, but if in a pinch or in like a weird matchup scenario, like it would actually be pretty good. This feels like that. That's what this feels like. Step Between looks so cool, costs you nothing. It attacks for 4. When this is attacking or on the stack, opponents can't play or activate instants. It's like Exude Confidence, but worse in every respect. This card says, forget you to all wizards ever. It's so cool, and I hate it as well. But also, instant pay 1, tap your hero, it gets +1, and attack damage can't be prevented. So it also just absolutely just poops on illusionists and their auras as well. Where was this card when stinking friggin' Enigma was around? Like, what the heck, man? Like, this is the card we needed right here. Card's great. It's going to be like that silver bullet card if the meta shifts. Like, everyone gets this card. So this is like truly majestic level. Ominous Aggression is one of the cooler looking cards in this set. I'm pretty sure they were getting married. And then she transformed. This was also had some really cool lore text. It essentially, I read a portion of it in the trailer video, the spoiler video I made. But essentially, like, all of these omens are bringing with them corruption, and each omen has its own flavor of sin, and anyone that looked upon the omen's baleful hue would be transformed, and, you know, even the best of intentions would be corrupted beyond measure. Costs 2 as a generic instant, by the way. Target attack action card gets +2. If an aura was destroyed this turn and you controlled the aura, this gets +4. Like the card, the buff is giving +4. So it's like a 2 for 4 if you can get it to go. That's kind of how I feel about it. Like, the art is awesome, but like the 2 for 4, you've got to toss a bunch of auras. You could play this in a variety of different decks. Like, there is a ton of decks now that have auras that pop at the start of the turn. Might, agility, confidence, just auras you play in your deck, including but not limited to in this set. So there's lots of things out there that you can get this to trigger on. This does not see play unless you're triggering it consistently and you really need an on hit. Like, that to me feels like this card is like really banking on you getting on hits or getting disruption. Otherwise, I don't know, just feels like you could probably just spend your resources on something slightly better. So we'll see on this one. Here's the macro, which I haven't seen. Each hero starts the game with a Lightning Flow token. Oh, okay. Lightning Flow tokens get Spell Void 1. Oh, this seems really good. I have not seen this card. I have not read this card. That seems really good. That feels like Rosetta macro right there. It's got prevention. It's got the starting of the whole process. Seems good. Unmake the Underlings. I hate this card. I think it's stupid and it should die. All right. Feral Instinct costs 3. Okay, I'll go back. Unmake the Underlings costs 0. It attacks for 1 because, of course, it freaking does. Stealth Yeah, blocks for 3. Why couldn't it block for like -1? Like, come on. Like, why is this not fair? Assassin attack action card. It's a majestic. When this attacks a hero, turn an ally in their graveyard face down. Oh, God. I don't even want to keep reading. When this hits an ally, destroy that ally. Yeah, sure. Assassins get that too. Why do assassins get all this? Okay, whatever. It's a good card. Feral Instinct costs 3, or does it? 6 power, 3 block. Okay, sure. If you've intimidated an opponent this turn, it costs 3 less to play. So, yeah, it's a 0 for 6. That's a good card. That's a really good card. And then finally, I like this card. I know there's some people out there that disagree with me. I think this card is cool. Lionclaw Maul. It is a majestic, so you can't play it in Sage. But all of the decks that I've been running up against, the Lyeth decks, are all playing aggro versions of Lyeth. Just like Nimbleisms, Reds, like buffs, things like that, right? This card feels like it would work perfectly in those, because the cards that they're buffing are oftentimes the yellow cards, which means that you're not really running a blue base, and instead you're running a yellow base. And why does that matter? Well, this attacks for 1. It pay 2 to attack. You got to tap as well. If it has attack greater than its base, it gets +1. Okay, so you're getting that +1 almost all the time. And when this hits a hero, the crowd boos you, so you're getting the value of the boo as well. A might token snowballed over. So this like combos into itself, right? So the might token can pop, and it has attack greater than its base. If you can get a little more buff on it, because remember, I don't have Lyeth pulled up, but Lyeth is going to also minus things as well. And you know what? I'm just going to pull Lyeth up because I feel like this card feels solid, but maybe I'm missing something. Lyeth. Everyone like I've talked to. So like it says the base attack and block of your cards you control are halved, right? So the Maul itself is a 1 power. It gets the buff, goes to 2, but then it would drop down to 1, right? So you still need to like actually do things with making this like good. You have to give it more mites than just the 1. And so like I feel like I get that. Actually, technically, if you gave it 1 might, this would go up to 3 because it would go down to 1. Does the minus take place first? My brain's fried. All this to say is I feel like you're never actually relying on just like a single might to push across the line. Like with the aggro version that runs a more yellow base pitch curve, they're playing all the buffs already. And so you could tech into that deck like the ability to buff with impunity, or just lean into those might tokens. This Lionclaw Maul, and it feels like it would be better for that style of deck and give more credence for that style of deck to exist. So I personally like that, and I think that the snowball effect of booing and gaining a might kind of guaranteed whenever you use this feels good, right? It feels like this would be a solid weapon. So I'm a fan of this, but I've heard several people like kind of complain about it. I don't know. I felt like it was a pretty solid card. So there you go. 42 minutes later, we got through all of the cards that have been spoiled so far. So of course, after I finish rendering this video and I check my phone, I'm sure there will be 5 other cards that didn't get included. If that is the case, go down in the comments below and tell me that I missed some cards, because I'm quite certain I would never have realized that I would have missed cards unless you left a comment down below telling me that I missed some cards that came out after this video rendered, and then it was posted, and then it premiered. So let me know that in a comment below what cards I missed. And if I misevaluated any of these cards, just remember, it's a happy accident. And tell me that down below. Of course, if you want to follow this channel for more, make the number go to the other number. As always, everybody, thanks for watching.